But we have a new project. We got the carpet coming, which is that. That's going to be the whole back, and that's the carpet that matches the interior of the car. Now I got to shampoo it, but it's going to look just like that. And just like this, upholstery, we're going to upholster. You see how we got the sides done? We also got a wall for here so you don't see where. I bet you that's my wife on here. I knew it. I just said it. What the new thing that we're looking at? Well, what the new thing that we're looking at is the trunk. Tracy and I found where I can get unmolded carpet. Unmolded means it's not shaped like the car. It's just flat. We're gonna put that in here so it looks just like the inside of the car. We already have upholstered the sides. We have a wall that goes across here that is up there. And this is the upholstery that matches the interior. So we do all of this ourselves, right? And what we're gonna do, you see where that black wire is? We're gonna make it where you can't see that, where it looks like a little wall like that. And how are we gonna do that? We're going to upholster these. These are edge protectors. These were in that box when we bought Goofy for the Christmas decoration. A lot of times you'll buy things that'll have these edge protectors in it so whatever's in it doesn't get damaged. Well, this one just happens to be the perfect length to fit right in there like that. Now, if if once I knock it in, let's say it's not long enough, you see that gap, I don't like that gap. What I'll do, I have longer ones, and I will measure it. I could either cut another one and glue it together, or I got one that's too long. Wow, it's a lot of people on here. Um, what's going on, Genoa? I can cut this to the length that we need it, and that'll fit in there. But just so you kind of know what it looks like, it's going to look like this. And we're going to wrap it like we did these. You're going to wrap it in felt. The felt is here. Mid-weight stabilizer. You can get it at any craft store, Michael's, whatever. And then we're going to cover it with our upholstery. How do we get it on there? We're going to use 3M multi-purpose adhesive. Just like we did the rest of the adhesive stuff that we did. So, again, we're working on 1964 Chevy Impala. I haven't been on it so long. I guess I shouldn't assume that you guys know what car we're working on. So I'll let you see it. It's the deck lid. We were doing it. We have wet sanded down. The flatter the paint you get with the sandpaper, the more shining. Now this is shining like this. This has no polish, um, no nothing on it. This is just straight sandpaper. How it's reflecting like that. Um, but what we're working on right now is the trunk. So let me get this light on so we can see what we're doing. And what kind of cars are you guys into? What kind of cars do you guys work on? Go ahead, put it in the chat. Let me check it out. While we're doing that, these are the things we're going to be using. We're going to use a saw. That's what we're going to use to cut it. We're going to measure the true length that we're going to need. Obviously, to cut the felt and the upholstery, gonna need the scissors, glue, and our edge protectors. And that's gonna give us, I'm gonna leave this in here just so when I come back to show you guys reference, you know what it's gonna look like. Now, just to give you some more insight, once we get this piece in place, guess what goes on top of that? It is somewhere in here. Let's find it. Because you cannot have a lowrider without lights in your trunk. You just can't. And I have no idea how to install lights, by the way. But I had no idea how to do any of this car. I think these are the lights. Now these lights, these are LED strip lights. And something about the technology in these lights, they flash to the sound of the music. However that works, I don't know, but it's pretty cool, and I'm going to figure out a way to make it work in this car. But I'm thinking to put the strip of lights, once we cover everything up, to put the strip of lights right in between there, right on top. So when the trunk is open, the light is shining this way, we really don't see it. Because you're not going to be standing here looking at the car like this. You're going to be looking at the car like this or like this. And there should be different color lights going on. That's the plan. May work, may not work. We'll get it all figured out. So let's turn on the juice and see what shakes loose. Let's get started. Let me see. We're gonna turn this around so you guys can see actually what I'm doing and see that I am actually figuring this out in real time. And the point of this is so you're not nervous to try stuff either. Let's see. All right. Now, the first thing we're going to have to do is measure how long we're going to need these to be. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around because I'm not ready to get stable yet. We're going to see how long these need to be. These are, just so you have an idea, these are just under, these are 27 3/4 inches. But what we need for our purposes is just under 24 inches. And Yeah, because remember, it goes under this. It's not going over that, so that curve is not going to bother us. We need just, we can probably get by with 23 and a half. Because it's going to billow out because we're going to have the felt on it. Oh, always nervous around those. Okay, 23 and a half. So we're going to mark these at 23 and a half. Put you guys up here. I have to apologize to you guys. I haven't given you guys a live in a long time. I don't even know why I still have my headphones on. I don't know if that even affected your ability to hear me. I don't know why I had my headphones on. But we're going to cut this at 23 and a half, right? Was it 23 and a half or 24 and a half? Somebody put in the chat, was it 23 and a half or 24 and a half? I think it was 23 and a half. Put in the chat which one it was so I don't mess up, please. And no one put anything in the chat, so guess what? We got to go back. Yes, you get homework on this channel. You guys are actually part of the build of this car. It was 23 and a half. Should have had confidence in myself. No thanks to the chat. Come on, guys. Wake up. It's got to be crazy time somewhere. I know it's crazy time here. Okay. So we are at 23 and a half. And I'm going to cut this one and see if it fits in both spaces as opposed to going back and measuring. See where we put the lines, where we marked it on the, there we go. Where we marked it, we're just going to take a straight edge. This doesn't have to be, this is not an exact science, and this does not have to be exact. Right? Okay. And we're going to give this a cut. Now, if this is too crude, I'm just going to get a cutting wheel and my grinder and just take it off in a second. But just so I'm not... Sometimes I like to kick it old school. Like, this was how we actually cut stuff when I was growing up. Oh, well, good. It's not on. It's all of this shit. It's not harming anything. Bingo. Let's test fit it. See if we're good or not. Like a glove. See that? That's a good job right there. And then we will see if it's the exact measurement over here. If it is, all right, let's see how close that is. This piece isn't all the way in place. All right. So it's not exactly. So I'm thinking we have to measure this. I was hoping we would get an exact fit on either side, but when you start doing custom stuff, nothing is on these old cars. Nothing is always going to be perfect or square. So we got 23 and a half right here. And see, these are handmade, so these are not fitting perfectly as well. It's fitting the way we need it to fit, but it's not necessarily perfect. And second piece is going to have to be long enough to fill this gap. So let's go ahead and measure this. Thought we were going to get by, but no dice. So, look, 23. I think we were at 23 and a half on the other side. We're just 23 right here. And it's a shame because this is 22. This is 22. Man, that would have been so cool if that were 23. But it's not. So what are we going to do? Let's measure off 23. You feel me? We're going to measure off 23. Bingo. Again, don't go crazy about being perfect. All this stuff is custom work. You're just slowing down. But now, check out how we're going to mark it. This is square. This came from the company. Straight edges. That's how I should have marked it on the other one. I didn't think about it. See that? Bing. Bang. Padow, if you will. And pull it out. Pull it out. I bet most young people don't even have a handsaw, let alone know how to use one. Now, I have, like I said, a cutting wheel and all of that, but sometimes I like the old school feel of doing it the way my dad taught me how to cut things. But if you had a 2x4, I mean, I remember when circular saws weren't prevalent. So no matter what you were cutting, Christmas tree, whatever, this is how you cut it. And especially if you're working in your home garage at 1 o'clock in the morning, probably don't want to wake everybody up. See how this fits. All right, let's see what we're talking about now. Turn on the juice and see what shakes loose. I wish it was a little tighter. But see that? That's a little too much gap for me. I should have cut it too long because you can always cut off more. But what is going to happen is when I wrap it, it's going to add space on the ends, so it'll fill in there. And then I'm going to use Velcro to keep it in place. So we'll be good. But I wish it was tighter. And I don't have another long piece, so I got to make it do what it do now. All right, so unfortunately, that was the easy part. Pretty much guess my way up to that point. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Wait a minute. I think I just measured the wrong part. Hey, show you it's live. This is what custom work on a car is like. I think I put the wrong piece on there. No, no, I didn't. Hopeful thinking. No, see the gap's still there. All right. No problem. All right. Let's get you guys back in place. Let's see how we're gonna do this felt. The good thing about when you do this, when you get the first one done, you automatically know what to do for the second one. And most of the time, when people are doing this custom stuff, they don't know either. They just have the confidence that they can figure it out, which separates the custom person from the person who owns the car or the person that's paying to get it done. So, let's see. This is the little foam that goes under the upholstery, so the upholstery is smooth and kind of pillowy. Now there's a version of this that is glued to the other side of the upholstery, of the vinyl. So I'll show you that. This is the other side. It's a real thin version of that. See how it's kind of cottony? And then this is the vinyl. Well, you actually see them both. See, this is a real thin, and this is the vinyl itself. That's the vinyl. This is a version of what we're putting on, but ours is it's about the same. Yeah. So we're doubling it up, so we have twice as much as what comes with the vinyl. So it's has a little more softness to it. And pretty much, we're guessing this is about as far as we need to go, right? Because we'd rather have too much than not enough. So, what are we saying about, you guys can't see what I'm marking. Here we go. We're going to give it we're going to give it about, we want some overlap room. So we're going to give it to about here, right? And that's where our scissors come in. So you see where all of the tools I showed you in the beginning that we'll be using are coming into play. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfect cut. Nobody's going to see this. All right. So what we want is this to fold like this. So we'll probably go somewhere out here. Super resourceful. Who would have thought that? Let me see. I'm sorry, I've been missing Oh, wife's. Oh, nice. You are super resourceful. Who would ever thought? Okay, we're just drawing a cutoff line where it's going to fold back over. Right there. And that'll fold in here. And we're going to glue it all down, make sure it's smooth. Again, this doesn't have to be a perfect cut. It doesn't have to be a perfect line. That's why I didn't use a straight edge, because nobody's going to see this. All right. Cool enough. Right. And this should be good for our second one, hopefully, because that one is a little longer, but let's go get it and see what happens. Yep. See, we got a little extra on that end. We should not need this anymore, so we can get Jive out of our way as we're working. Put this back on the wall. Oh! Do not want to knock these bikes over and it hit the car. So I'm going to just put this over here temporarily so it's out of our way. All right, we still should be cutting. Now, there is a trick to using aerosol adhesive. You have to spray both pieces. You spray this, you spray this, you let them sit for about a minute, then you put them together. Now, I can already tell I don't have enough adhesive spray. I thought it was more in here than it is. So let's see if we have any more. Give you guys another shot of the car, though. Check that mug out. And when we're done, the trunk is going to be as low down as the inside. And yes, we have a dye pillow to go in the trunk when it's all said and done. All right. Where were we going? Oh, to see if we have more glue. If you don't have more glue, it may be a to be continued. I see some glue, but sometimes these go bad. So, looks like we got quite a bit of aerosol glue, which is a good thing. And I don't know if they've gone bad, but these bottles feel mostly full. So we shouldn't have too much of a problem. Now, what I am noticing is I put this cloth down, but if I get glue all over that, I'm gonna have a mess. So I'm gonna have to get something else to go up under this so everything's not sticking to each other. Yeah. So it looks like I'm gonna need two of these. Just to do what I need done. This is over there. Do not let me forget I put those over there because I will be looking for them in 5 minutes. All right. All right. And remember, we gotta spray everything. The way I messed up when I first started using this, I would spray one thing. Like if I was gonna glue this felt to this, I would just spray either this or spray that. Then I would put it directly on there. It doesn't work best like that. Now we gotta spray this. Because we're giving this a minute to tack up. Once it comes out of the can, then it starts to get sticky. You give it like 30 seconds to a minute. That's when you stick the two together because the glue sticks to the glue, not to the object itself. Now, are you going to get glue on yourself? Yep. And I don't know. I'm sure there's people that's better at this than I am that don't. But I don't know how to tell you to do that. And if you use rubber gloves, try that. The rubber gloves stick to the glue, and then you got even more of a mess. Looks like I may have had enough. You hear it running out. When she knows I'm online. No idea why she does that. Gotta love her. All right. It's been about 30 seconds. Like I said, you come up with a good system on the first one, the second one goes by easy. If you suck on the first one, you'll probably get the second one right, but then you'll have to take the first one loose to make it as nice as the first one. Okay. We don't care that it's dirty. That's fine, because you're not going to see that. All right. I don't know if you guys can really get a good view of what I'm doing, so I'm going to move this back. Son of a gun. Yeah, that's the thing about it. This stuff is real sticky once it's tacky. So if you get any folds or bends or anything like that, you got to get it out of there, or that's what's going to show through. Son of a god. Oh, I hate that. Yeah. First, this is a case of the first one going great and the second one kicking and screaming. The bottom's not right. And there's once you see it's wrong, fix it. Because other than that, it's just going to be problems on top of problems. Now, remember, if all else fails and this is not going right, pull it off, cover it again, or cover on top of it. So you really should not lose unless you just lose confidence. Because let's say if it's a wrinkle in it, you just put another piece of felt over the wrinkle. Now, what we can do, see where it's too long? We're not going to let that ride. Check out our next move. And we already got some exposed area where there's glue. But we're going to put some glue on the sides and then we're going to fold it over. Whoa! Okay. That's what happens if you got a little glue covering up. Cool. See how I sprayed it? It's a little on this side, it's a little on that side because they're going to stick together when I fold it over. And we need only about 30 seconds. We get our 30 seconds, what do? Fold it over. Fold it over. Now I have clamps if it's that important. But A, I think the glue is going to be strong enough, and B, I don't think it's really going to be that important. But if I wanted to get my plastic clamps or my metal clamps, now what I'm going to do, take glue all over the fingertips. But now I'm going to test fit these. That's one thing you're doing when you're doing custom work on a car, or really when you're doing any work on a car. But really with custom work, you're constantly test fitting it. So you're keeping a good idea of what your end result is going to look like. Basically, it's going to be rinse, wash, repeat. We're going to get the vinyl. We're going to stretch it out. We're going to lay this on top of it. We're going to mark it off. We're going to spray both. We're going to glue it on. We're going to cover it up. Same thing. So it doesn't really change. But what we're going to do is put these in place and see how it looks. I'm going to put it in place and I'm going to take you guys over to see. right, now we can check out what it looks like. And ironically, that is bothering. These gaps are really bothering me. Now, what I could do is push this out, and that'll make it tighter. But that is bothering me. That's bothering me. So I'm going to have to come up with something as to where I'm not looking at those gaps. But this felt is kind of the same thing as what this is on top of this wood, but this is more of a almost like a foam that goes under the carpet. But now you're getting an idea of how clean that makes the trunk look. Even with it just being dirty felt, we've gone from looking at wires to a boxed in trunk. Let's take this top down and you guys can kind of get a little more of a feeling of what this should look like. I'm going to put you guys up here. I'm going to turn you around. And I'm going to put you up here. Whoa! And you guys dipped on me. See how you are? All right. Oh. For me to put that middle piece in, I got to take the sides out. And I really don't know if I feel like doing that right now. I really, really don't. Um, the reason why I don't like taking the sides out is because well, how about you get to see it all? Let me go ahead and do it. Because the amp and everything and the battery is over here. So you get to see something. Hopefully you'll think it's cool. I don't know if you can see it good. What if I put you guys up here? No, that does not necessarily make you see it better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys right here. And I'm going to come around the back. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is why I do not like doing this part. It wasn't a real obstacle until it wasn't a huge obstacle until I connected the amplifier to that side wall. All right. This and my wife knows I'm on YouTube, that inspires her to call me over and over again. Not thinking I can't answer the phone because I'm on YouTube. YouTube is on the phone. Or why there's an emergency conversation that needs to be held when you see me live on YouTube. Now, a lot of this was cut to fit exactly, which means it's got to get hammered into place, which I'm not going to do tonight. So I'm just putting it in place so you guys can see the general fit. But when it fits tightly like this, it's better because everything is holding itself in place. Which is why I'm so dissatisfied that I undercut this piece. You never do that. You always cut too long rather than too short. Son of a gun. It's close. But to give you a view of the trunk now. See that? Now that little gap along the top, I need that there because that's where the lights are going to be. And the lights are going to creep in very inconspicuously. Carpet's going to go down here, so don't worry about that. Carpet's going on the floor. But I mean, you can already see the difference from when we started to now. So I'm digging that. It's pretty cool. I may recover this piece because of this. That's bugging me. I thought I would be able to ignore it, but it's hard to ignore it. But the only thing I'd have to do, I already got, just cover it with that again, just like I was saying over here. You just recover it. I got to get something that's going to build up this edge and make it tighter. I don't like this gap. I want that to fit like that side does. I don't believe I screwed the pooch like that. I don't believe I did that. Rather cut it too long. You can always cut off more. You can't put it back on once you get it off. At least not easy. So now I gotta think. But knowing that these are going to have some type of Velcro agent, I'm not really worried about it. Because that's how it's going to stay on. It's going to be with some type of Velcro agent. But I want this tighter, smoother, like that. See that? And I got this gap here. I got to figure out how to fill that in. And I have an idea. Let me show you what my idea is. This is what my idea is. Remember the piece that we cut off? That giving me my last little bit. Glue it in. And when I upholster over it, just put a lot of something here to make it even. And then when you upholster it over it, you're never going to see this part anyway. That's what I'm thinking about doing. So what we're going to do is just do a part 2 to this. We're going to enjoy what we got in place. We're not worried about the dirt. We're going to upholster over it. We're not worried about it. And then all the dirt that's in here, we're going to wipe that off, and that's going to be fine. We don't care about that. But I've been putting this off for so long. I'm glad I got it done. And oh, you know what's bothering me? Look at this. This isn't even knocked in. This isn't even knocked in. So when this gets knocked in, it's going to be even more of a gap. Let me pull this out. This side goes in at an angle. See that? That's in. Ah, but look what happens when it goes in at an angle. Look what happens when it goes in at an angle. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Check it out. Once we hit that angle, we're good. I like it. Carpet's coming. Then we got a mat that goes in the middle of it. And then right here we have some chrome that we can put on, and even put chrome on either side of the carpet. We can put like a strip of carpet, chrome under it, chrome over it. Because we want to make it look like some time was put into this trunk. And you know what? That may be how I cover this. That may be how I cover that with carpet. People, I got to figure that out. But we are at an hour, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down. Sorry I haven't given you guys a project in a while, but just wet sanding. I gave you guys some pretty cool shorts, but wet sanding is just, it just is what it is, man. You know, it's just really not that exciting. So how much could we do with live wet sanding? I did replace the hoses. We have no leaks as far as water, so I'm going to get a braided cover for the lower radiator hose and the upper radiator hose, braided cover like this. Cover these, go ahead and put the belts on them, and we're going to be ready to turn on the juice and see what shakes loose with that. Then we got to clean everything and get it super bright again and polished again. I may hire some of my university buddies to come out and do all of that, because that little bit of cleaning is just not fun, but has to be done. My HVAC got to get hooked up to there, but man, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. There are not a lot of trunk videos like this. You'll have the, oh, you got to have all this expensive stuff and all this talent, blah, blah, blah. Not quite how we do it. Not quite how we do it. These are very rudimentary, but the entire car is rudimentary, but it came out pretty high-end local. Can't necessarily ask for a better design. We're pretty much crushing it. You know, for a one-man job, this is pretty good. I had some help on getting the interior sewn, but I installed it. I had I put in the air system. Somebody redid it for me, but everything else I did. Everything else I installed. Everything else I put together. Had some people help me mechanically, but you know, pretty much I did it. I put everything together. Rewired the car. So I'm going to let you guys know. I guess let's try to get it back in tomorrow. And make sure you follow the channel. Hit that follow. It's free. And you'll get to see all of the projects that are coming up. Take it easy.